What is going on, everybody? My name is Japes, and welcome to another episode of my Path to Power, I guess is what this is. It's kind of a weird episode, though, as you guys are going to see where we left off last time. It was the decider what to do with the 75,000 coins that people had, or one person who has yet to be named, or who I have absolutely no idea, bought a player while I was doing a little Path to Power on my stream. I forgot to put a buy now on my player, but he bought him for 75,000 coins. It was a bronze non-rare, or maybe it was a rare. That's neither here nor there, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I went ahead and I transferred him over to my main account. And since it is still Path to Power related, I'm going to show you guys the packs that I went about and bought today. But that is not what I am going to be talking about. Today's topic of discussion, and at least kind of an interesting one for me with the Champions League and everything that's going on here, or going on this week, especially as many of you guys know, I support Bayern Munich, and I get a lot of grief for supporting them. And I'm going to kind of talk about American sports and American fans in general, kind of the way we support teams. If you look at the biggest sport in the States, it is the NFL, or the National Football League. Now, this is American football that we're talking about. There are 32 teams in the NFL. Now, there are a lot more big cities in the U.S. than just 32, or there are a lot more areas that would support an NFL team if it were, per se, their home team than the 32. However, because there are only a select few amount of teams to support, one is, you're forced to, if you're a fan of the sport, you're eventually going to become a fan of one of those teams, and it's not always going to be your hometown team. And for a large portion of the population, it most definitely isn't their hometown team. So when we have now the MLS over here as well, and I'm from Atlanta. Now, Atlanta is in the South. The closest teams to me, maybe DC United and maybe Houston. I'm not quite sure. I don't have an MLS team close. I have a USL team, which is the U.S. Soccer League, or United Soccer League, something like that, which is the league essentially below the MLS. But they have an Atlanta team called the Atlanta Silverbacks, who are not impressive, I think. I'm not sure. Nobody really follows the USL. The MLS has definitely taken over. But because I don't have, it seems to be such a shocker for people. And it's kind of a shocker for me almost to, I guess, realize that this is a shocker for people. So a lot of shocking going on there. But it's a bit of a shocker that people don't understand. And when I say people don't understand, that I guess more that I get grief for supporting Bayern. And it's interesting to me because there are a lot of teams, the NFL team, I support the hometown team, which would be the Atlanta Falcons, but I grew up as a Green Bay Packer fan. My parents dressed me in all sorts of different little Packer clothes and all that sort of thing. And I grew up watching Packer games with the family. And the same thing kind of goes for, what teams we're able to see play on Saturdays and Sundays in the football world. Now, what I'm referring to is when I was growing up, the games that I used to be able to see on Saturday and Sunday for the Premier League were Manchester United games. That's about it. Maybe you'd see Real Madrid occasionally, maybe Chelsea on another rare occasion, but there was such a very, very select and very small amount of football shown on television. And so you watched these big teams, and, if you enjoyed the sport and enjoyed catching some matches, then that was going to be the team that you were kind of by default going to come to support. Now, I wasn't a Man U fan. I watched a lot more games than that, but we didn't have the internet for streaming back then, and so I kind of grew up as a Bayern supporter because we had family friends in Munich, and my dad was spent a ton of time in Munich, and I was given Bayern things as well, so that's kind of where that grew about. But it's a very, very normal thing in the States to support a team that isn't from your hometown or isn't from the city that you currently live in. Which is interesting. I guess, which might be interesting for some of you guys because it's different in the UK. I know, and in actually all through Europe, especially as far as footy's concerned, I know each and every town has a town team for the most part. Not, obviously there are going to be exceptions, but my brother spent his junior year of high school abroad in Germany, and even the small town that he lived in outside of Munich had a town team that, that you could go and you could watch and you could pay to watch play, which was cool. And I think that's amazing, but that is not something that we have here in the US. So it's kind of a different way of, it's kind of sports being a little bit different. They say that, I'm going to use England again as an example. England's the size of a state called Mississippi over here, and Mississippi isn't even one of our bigger states, like not even probably close to the, maybe I guess it's no, I don't think close to the top 5 biggest states, not even maybe in the top 10. And now I'm trying to, of course, picture this map in my head, so I'm going to get grief for this. Somebody's going to say, Japes, you weren't even close on that, but I don't even think it's remotely close. Well, yeah, it's definitely not in the top 10. So the U.S. is a very, very big place. And so going to what would be the closest MLS match for me would be a significant road trip and tons of time, which just is not feasible. But I'm able to catch, matches on TV. I don't watch the MLS as much as I probably should. The league is growing and getting a lot better. However, it's still not the same sort of quality. And so I watch, Bayern is the team that I grew to support. And it's not weird. Some of you guys are going to say, well, you see, we have Fox Soccer over here, Fox Soccer channel, which shows most of the games. Next year, NBC got the big contract. So apparently every Premier League game is going to be shown. And I get asked all the time, Japes, what is your favorite Premier League team? And that's an interesting question in its own right. Like I said, for a long time, all I could see were Manchester United and Chelsea games. But by default, and being the rebel that I am, I chose not to support those teams because I thought, everybody I talk to over here in the States, you ask them, oh, you're a fan of the sport. What's your favorite team? Oh, Manchester United. Liverpool is a big one too, because when Liverpool was doing really well, like 2005, it was one of those things where they were shown on TV quite frequently. And so, with that said, I kind of chose to not like those teams. And it's not that I don't like the teams, it's that I kind of didn't support them. So the BPL team that I most support, I think, will be given out at a different time because there's really no need to get a big fuss about that at this point in time. Anyways, we're coming to a close of this. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the packs on the screen. I hope you guys I know it was a big time ramble, but I hope that kind of explains the differences as to why supporting different teams would be different here in the States. And so it's really not weird to support a team from a different country, especially when the sport's bigger in other countries. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy, like a thumbs up is always greatly appreciated. I'll have the interviews out from my time at EA later on today or tomorrow, depending when this goes up. Other than that, my name is Japes, and I will catch you all next time.